friends, Jackie and Jim Schulman, are here. And we have wonderful, exciting news about the carousel in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. First of all, this morning, what time did you leave Ohio? Columbus,
Well,
Ohio.
we actually left Ohio yesterday.
And,
yeah.
Oh, okay.
And do you want to explain why you're wearing a mask? Is that okay?
Sure. Why? Oh, well, I don't want to give Jackie a cold.
Well, it's the other way around. Jackie sadly came down with a cold, and she doesn't want to give you a cold, so she called in advance and said she's sitting in the back here with a mask on.
And another thing, it makes the TV picture much better. It covers up half of my face.
Oh, come on. So I'm Jim, and Jackie is my wife, and when I was a little bit younger, I watched this TV show coming out of WRGB. At the time, it was Channel 4. It was the SS Glendora, with a captain named Glendora and an audience of a lot of young kids. And then it became Satellite 6, and we had a space commander named Glendora. So somehow she went from a ship to a spaceship. Did I get that pretty accurate?
Always, Jim.
I remember it as a youngster. So many years later, I was writing a book about my hometown of Pittsfield, and I said, well, whatever happened to the shows we had as a kid? Howdy Doody was gone, Freddie Fryhopper was gone, and I said, but I wonder what happened with Glendora. So I went on the internet, and I found Glendora, and I called her up, and I said, you don't know me, other than maybe I have a card from Felix the Cat Club, but I remember you as a kid and loved your show.
What was your number?
And I don't remember that, but I'm lucky because I remember where I left from Ohio the other day. I'm doing well. In any event, I interviewed Glendora. We came and met her at her house here in Nassau, and had a nice get-together, and she came and supported the Berkshire Carousel. And
well, it was in Berkshire Memories. That was the name of Jim's book, Berkshire Memories.
That's true. So anyway, you did come to the Berkshire Carousel. You rode on a horse and made a lot of fans happy. You met a lot of people there that have been in touch since.
And so many fans came to see us.
You bet.
And they were watching the show post when they were 7 years old, and they came to see Glendora when they were 70 years old.
Unbelievable. And you must be about 130 or 40 now, is that right?
No, I'm only 97. Dear.
Only 97?
Yes, but I'm going to live until 107.
You betcha. You betcha. So, Jackie and I are coming back for the June 14th date of the Berkshire Carousel. This is a project that we donated our funds to and designed the program to engage members of the community into creating a historic and artistic carousel. And our goal was to organize the community of people, and secondly, to build a work of art. Third, the social recreational piece of it, which is riding it like an amusement ride, is what is going to happen this weekend on the 14th. And Jackie and I have funded free rides for anybody that comes to Pittsfield, and it's open from noon to 5 on Center Street, which is a block and a half from the center of town, Park Square, right next to the CVS pharmacy. And that was our donation.
Say it again, honey, where the address is.
It's 50 Center Street. It's right next to the CVS pharmacy from the park in the middle of the city. You go down West Street and you can't miss it. It's right behind CVS.
Okay, hon.
Mm-hmm. So our goal in creating this was not so much to make an amusement ride, but we researched all the history of wooden carousels that were made from 1880 to 1930, 50 years. We call that the golden age of carousels. And in the United States, over 3,000 carousels were built in that 50-year spread of time.
Wow.
And in those 3,000 carousels, there's only about 170 of them left remaining today that are operating. A lot of them ended up being auctioned off piece by piece. At one point, carousel horses brought a very big figure, sometimes 6 figures.
Wow.
And they also got destroyed
Were
in
they
fires.
were they hand carved?
They were hand carved. In fact, before we started our project, I took a 5-day carving course and spent 5 months carving a horse, the first one. And I said, I am not an artist, not a musician, but if I can carve a horse, anybody in the Berkshires can do it.
Horsing around.
Horsing around, exactly. And I went around in a lot of circles too, doing it. But it took about 250 hours to carve the horse, 250 hours sanding the horse in between. And then after it was all done, it had to be painted. But because I'm colorblind, I had to hire somebody to do the painting. In Glendora, you know what I named the horse?
No, what?
I named it Obi. You know who Obi was?
Oh,
Obi?
sure, Obi.
Obi Joyful.
Sure, Obi joyful to the Lord.
Obi Joyful was a town character, passed away in 1961, who lived in the Berkshires. He was a vegetarian, and he was a real town character, and he gave lectures and sold advice for $1 a card, $1 a question. And I found his grandchildren that were in their 70s, interviewed them, and his great-great-granddaughter actually lives in Pittsfield.
Good work.
So he was quite a character.
Tell the folks about the first Glendora and her picture party and the young lady who was on it.
There was Glendora's picture party, was at WBRK in Pittsfield, owned by Leon Podolsky. I believe he was your boss, was he not, or owner of the station? And people would. I had a friend who's passed on that was on the show. And I think
was her name?
Her name was Ellen Covell back then. Her dad was a dentist.
How do you spell Covel?
Covel, Covell. Her dad was a dentist.
Is that B as in brother?
V. C-O-V as in vegan.
V as in victory?
V as in victory.
Okay. Ellen Covell.
Right. And her dad was a dentist, and her mom's father owned a store in Pittsfield called Textiles Department Store. Remember that one? And then it became K's. And Ellen and I met up actually in Montana. We got together probably about 20 years ago. She and her husband were out there, and we were at a convention, and she was out there for a year with her husband. And we sat down and talked about growing up in Pittsfield. We had at last been in class together in kindergarten in 1950. And here it was, we were out in Montana in 2010, I believe it was. So it was quite a reunion.
That's something.
Yeah. And
That
she
is
told me
really
about
something.
the picture party, and she was on that. And I actually found pictures of Glendora in Pittsfield back then. And she was at the common playground talking and meeting with kids.
Yeah.
And I found a bunch of negatives that I found from an old Eagle photographer. And I developed those into the pictures, and I put them in the book.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jim, you are really a genius, honey. I really have respect you. And you saw your article in the hall.
I did.
Yeah.
But I'm doing all the talking, so you can talk
Well,
a little bit here.
Well, that's good. That's what we want to hear. I would just like to have you tell the folks about the article you write every week or every 2 weeks for the Berkshire Eagle.
Well, about 10 years ago, around this period of time, I've been subscribing to the Berkshire Eagle newspaper since I left home in the 1960s. Probably have been getting the newspaper for well over 50 years. And hard copy I was getting from up until a few years ago, the actual print copy, and it was mailed to me wherever I lived. It was much more expensive than subscribing, but I loved growing up in Pittsfield. And there was a columnist about 5 or 6 years younger than me that I enjoyed. And the columnist, his name was Brian Sullivan. And often he would write about things he remembered as a kid in Pittsfield in the 1960s and 70s. And he passed away suddenly of, I think, a heart condition. And I missed the column. And I wrote to the Eagle. I said, I'm not a writer, but I did write a book. I would be glad to write a column for you. And, do it much like Brian did about some of the things in Pittsfield. and I'll do it pro bono. I won't charge. I'll do it.
Wow.
So the Eagle said, well, we'll try one and see what happens. So I wrote the first column, and after that they said, we'd love to have you do a column. And
how many years ago?
And that will be 10 years ago in a couple of months.
And how many columns is that, honey?
I think it's somewhere around 260 columns every 2 weeks, and I never missed one.
And you haven't run dry?
I think there's still a lot to write.
You do?
But yeah, and it's had quite a following. I've run into a lot of people that were baby boomers. And
Sure.
Glendora, do you know what the youngest baby boomers' age would be now?
No, what?
Well, baby boomers were born after the war, 1946 to 1964. January 1st, 1946 to December 31st, 1964. So the youngest baby boomer was born in 1946, 60 years ago.
Is that what it is? Uh-huh.
Let me think for a minute. No, 64 would be the youngest baby boomer.
Okay.
The youngest baby boomer would be 60 years old. The oldest baby boomer would be 79. 79.
Yeah.
The oldest would be 79. The youngest would be 60.
Yep.
So baby boomers are getting on in age. So the column is about baby boomer memories.
Well, honey, did we cover everything? Go over again what's going to happen on the 14th in Pittsfield.
So the carousel, Berkshire Carousel, has been closed a number of years after COVID, and we couldn't get some local leadership to take it over. So it's been closed for about 7 years. It last ran in 2018. Last time it ran, we brought 200 people there from the National Carousel Association to visit the carousel.
You did?
Yeah, we had a convention. So it's been closed from after 2018. It was closed 2019 all the way up until this year. And what happened is...
Go ahead, Joe.
What happened is this year we had a number of volunteers, that created the carousel that stepped forward and said, we want to run it.
And how many is that, 30 or so?
I know. We had 3 volunteers that have actually taken charge under the leadership of an artist named Janet Crawford, who's done a wonderful job, working closely with myself and our treasurer, Joanne Conti. So we have Joanne and Janet and Morgan and Terry Davis, the 2 of them, and a number of new volunteers that I haven't even met that have really done a good job in bringing it together.
Isn't that great?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's no more horses to be made, so what did the volunteers do?
So we have 33 horses on the carousel, 3 chariots that include one that will hold a wheelchair, one that rocks like the horses that go up and down on the same kind of a pole, and we have one that's a spinning tub. Young people like that. And the volunteers will sell tickets. They have been decorating the area, building a patio, having outdoor picnic tables they're putting together.
Yes, what are you having for food, honey?
Well, as far as I know so far, we have a coffee vendor. We have a popcorn vendor that does the sweet sugar corn, kettle corn. And we have... let's see, what else did I...
Ice cream?
There'll be ice cream there from Krispy Cone or the ice cream place in Lanesboro, Mass. And there may be some food trucks there. So that's the first opening weekend. What happens after the opening weekend, we see how successful it is in terms of the food
Jim
vendors.
and Jackie, you deserve so much applause.
We also will have...
Applause.
We also have a gift shop that will have T-shirts and coloring books and other items. And if an individual buys a passbook, they get it stamped every time they ride a horse. They ride a different horse. If they get 33 of those stamped, they get a prize. I don't know what it is.
Now, how in all of that great activity did you have time to stop and see us on your way to Pittsfield? How did he have time to do that, folks?
Well,
He and Jackie.
you asked me a question earlier where we stopped on our way.
Yes, where did you stop?
We are stopping to see people that are important to us in our lives. And we stopped first in Rochester to visit a 96-year-old woman who is a second...
Is it snowing in Rochester?
No, it wasn't. But she and I had lunch. Jackie stayed out because she was sneezing and she didn't want to, spread germs. But this person, her name is Joanne, and I ate along the Erie Canal at a very nice Mediterranean restaurant. So we stopped and saw her. We like to see her every few years. We then stopped to see a man who is 94 from Florida that we've met down there. His apartment got destroyed by the hurricane, so he's up here now living with his daughter. And that was in Utica.
Oh, okay.
And then here we are seeing you.
You missed Herkimer.
We went by Herkimer. Yeah. We know all the places, Conestoga, Herkimer, all the places along the way are beautiful.
Sure.
Yeah.
Amsterdam,
Canajahari. Canajahari used to have that big beech nut food plant. It's now gone. I think it's Canajahari had beech nut baby foods. You remember that big plant?
Yes.
Totally gone. It's now a park, not even a parking lot. It's got weeds growing.
No, really?
Yeah. I remember that as a kid. And Amsterdam we went by, and Rensselaer, and East Greenbush, and all the places I remember growing up in Pittsfield. Going Route 20.
And between here and Pittsfield, what are the towns, honey?
Well, between here and Pittsfield, we'll go over Lebanon Mountain. So we'll go through West Lebanon, New Lebanon, and then we hit Hancock, where the Shaker Village is.
Oh, okay.
And the former treasurer of our board, Monty Wash, is now a judge in New Lebanon.
Oh, he is?
He's now a judge at age 83, and
tell him you know Jim Schulman.
and no longer on the board, because you can't be on the board and be a judge of an organization that raises funds. So we'll stop and we'll see him at the carousel on Saturday.
Well, is there anything we can do for you?
I think you can just stay healthy and be a good joke teller. Tell me a joke, though. We haven't heard one since calling you, I guess.
All righty. Wait a minute.
Tell us one about a little boy asking a question. Maybe you would remember one about that.
No. I think one of the best jokes we have is this one, folks. A boy played hooky from school, and late in the afternoon, he and his granddad are sitting on their front porch when the school bus rounds the corner and starts dropping off the children from the school. And the granddad says to the grandson, "You played hooky all day. You better go in the house and hide. You don't want all these people to see you out here." And the boy says, "No, you're the one who has to hide. I told him you had passed away."
That's funny, but it's sad. It's sad. Oh, hey, are you on the camera? Show them your head, when you pull down the top. That's really cute. The polar bear.
What do you want me to
go? Yeah. See? We have a polar bear I'm talking to here. Is it cold, polar bear? It's 80 degrees outside. It's not good for you. You better get.
It's 180 in here.
Yeah, you better have you better have an ice cube in there. We'll put one inside. You'll cool off, right?
Yes.
Oh goodness. So.
And the funniest joke on WRG was one day I was interviewing. In those days, they had a little microphone called an RCA lavalier, and it was only this big. And I was going around interviewing the boys and girls with a lavalier, and I had this sponsor who said, "When Glendora does my commercial, I'm giving away free lollipops, and I want her to be eating a lollipop all the time she does my commercial. So I'm eating the lollipop and interviewing, and when I get, then I put instead of putting the lollipop in my mouth, I put the lavalier."
Oh no. Funny.
Can you imagine how that gold bridge sounded in 75,000 homes?
Have you ever told your viewers about the people you met when you were out in California? I have a picture of you with Bob Hope. What other sellers?
Well, you know, honey, all the people who remember that are gone. But I'll try. Does anybody remember Jack Benny?
Oh, yeah. Violin guy.
Red Skelton.
course.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Oh, yes. Radio show.
George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Oh, he was so funny. He lived to over 100.
He did, and
Yeah.
so did the Bob Hope.
Yeah.
Cary Grant.
Yes. Oh, charmer.
Roy Rogers and Dale Evans.
Yes.
Gene Autry.
Mm-hmm. We've seen a few of them.
Groucho
We've seen Roy Rogers and Dale
Marx.
Evans. Groucho Marx,
Yeah.
yeah.
And George Fenneman. You remember
George Fenneman was his announcer.
Dinah Shore.
Remember the name of the show? You Bet Your Life?
Yes.
And Dinah Shore.
Yeah.
See the USA in your Chevrolet.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America is asking you to call.
You got it. And she
and
went for a younger man.
Do you
she was
remember
with,
this?
She was with
Jackie.
Burt. She was
Jackie
with Burt
Schulman.
Reynolds.
How's she doing back there?
You were there, Jack? Jack?
Is she all right?
I think she went out to the car. Had to get something. Yeah.
So
I was telling you about Dinah Shore went out with Burt Reynolds. Remember? A little bit younger guy.
Yeah, I
guy with the
remember Burt
mustache.
Reynolds,
Yeah.
but I don't remember the two of them went out.
I think they were.
How about Barbara Stanwyck?
Remember her? She
Yeah.
was in the Titanic too. The movie on the Titanic. The original
she
movie.
was in the Titanic?
The original Titanic movie. Yeah.
And
Night to
how
Remember.
about Vivian Leigh?
It was called A Night to Remember.
And how about Clark Gable?
Clark Gable, yeah. He was
People, you
deputy.
don't remember all these names.
Oh, I remember them as a kid.
Well, listen to this. Do you remember this? Hey, look me over. Send
Four-leaf
say,
clover.
look me over. Lend me an ear. Fresh out of clover. Mortgage up to here. Don't pass the plate, folks. Don't pass the cup. When you're down and out, the only way is up.
Up. Good song. Good song. Yeah, the songs I remember in the 50s were ones like Shrimp Boats Are Coming. How Much Is That Doggy in the Window? Remember that one? I think it's Patti Page. Yeah. I was
How about accentuate the positive?
Right.
Eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative.
Uh-huh.
You remember all those folks?
I remember those. How about Love and Marriage? Horse is like a horse and carriage?
Yeah. Can sing that one, Jim.
No, I can't sing. But it was Love and Marriage is like a horse and carriage. How about the one... oh, gosh.
How about Doris Day?
Ah, yes. Pillow Talk.
Uh-huh. And Rock Hudson.
They were a number. But, you know, Doris... Doris was a son, lived in North Adams. Terry Melcher was his name.
What's he do, honey?
Oh, I think he's passed on, but he was I think he was lived in or was from North Adams, one or the other.
What?
Mm-hmm.
He was what?
I think that he lived in North Adams.
Doing
I don't
what?
know if he was born there or not. I don't know. I remember the name.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's unusual. You usually know the whole story.
Well,
I think, is there anything else that you'd like to cover, Mr. James Schulman?
when is your birthday so they can all call and send you cards for your birthday?
They already have.
Next birthday.
May
Remember,
1st.
you're living to 100.
May 1st, 97 years old.
97, May 1st.
Yeah.
So how are we going to celebrate the 100th birthday, that centennial birthday? Are we going to have a big party here in Nassau? Or
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So you guys that are watching this, I want to hear from some of you as planners so we can plan a surprise party for the 100th. It's a surprise. Stephanie, it's a surprise.
Okay.
Don't tell Glendora.
Another trip through Canada.
Yeah, we'll go there and we'll have a protest at the beech nut plant. They should have never gotten rid of that baby food. Maybe they still make it. You think they make it vegan style? I don't know.
Anything else, Jim?
I'm all set. Thank you.
Well, listen, folks. Thank you for helping us by being with us in the good cheer and the reminiscence, and let us know by mail or email anything that we can do for you. Remember that when all is said and done, the only thing that really matters is how did you treat other. And Jackie and Jim Schulman get an A for that.
Mm-hmm. And you know the song, That's Amore?
No.
Mi Casa, Su Casa?
No.
Don't know those songs, huh? How about this is a carousel one to close on.
I think I've tried to close the show 6 times.
Uh-oh. Well, Perry Como sang this one. Find a wheel and it goes round, round,
Find a
round.
wheel,
There you
it
go.
goes
That's a
round,
carousel.
round, round, as it oh, that's very good. And Perry Como wrote a song or sang a song. I'm in love with a dolly named Glendora.
Got
She
it.
works in the window of a big department store.
Right.
She'll never get old, but she'll never be young. Something.
She'll always be young.
Oh, okay. Anyway, folks, the very best to you. And listen, you need somebody to love you. Do you have somebody to love you? And you need somebody to love. That's all you need in this world. Well, I love you, and so does Jim, and so does Jackie, and so does Sparky Cat.
That's our cat.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Grace and peace unto you from God our Father.